On down, welcome to the blacksmith. These ladies today, men and gentlemen, we're gonna watch this video. Things have been crazy ever since for a very long time, but definitely over the last say 5 or 10 years, maybe. There's been a huge shift, right? This podcast, Fresh and Fit, that has very interesting questions. Amongst the panel, you have very interesting answers. But don't take my word for it. We're gonna take a look at it, dive in. We're gonna react a little bit, maybe ask a few questions. You guys tell me what you think. Let's dive in.
You've definitely disqualified yourself from a large portion of the same very men that you want to attract.
That's really rude. And I don't agree with you.
Yeah, there's different
I don't
type
agree
of
with
men.
you.
Okay.
I don't agree with you at all.
Okay, and that's fine.
I don't.
Tell me why. Sure.
Why? Because there's a lot of men that have gone through enough in their lifetime to understand what it takes to have to pull yourself out of a 6-foot deep hole. So once you figure out how to do that and you do it well and people see your growth, I don't think there's anything wrong with having what you want. Like, honestly, I just don't understand like what your point is compared to like the other.
I'll make it simple. I asked you earlier, would you take a man with no ambition? What'd you say?
I said no.
Okay. Now ask me, do I want to take a woman that has passed?
Okay, but that's not the
But
same.
that's not the same. Okay,
It's
can
not
you
the
can you
same.
can you
Hold on,
ask? Can you
hold on.
ask?
Because
Stop. How's it not the same?
it's not the same because a man with ambition has to have some kind of past, right? And a woman with no ambition has to have some kind of past. So if your past don't match and your ambition doesn't match, then you're not going to be compatible. But if you have similar pasts and similar ambitions, y'all can fuck some shit up, right?
No. And that's the narrative that set so many women astray. A woman's past absolutely matters.
Maybe in your experience.
No, it's not my experience. This is how men think. Let me ask you a question. How many men have you had sex with? Exactly. That proves my point. You don't have to say a word. Your response just hold on, let me finish. I'm gonna explain to you what I meant by that. You don't have to answer that question. But when I asked you that question, you kind of were like, fuck this dude. Why are you asking me that? Correct? It was rude, right? It was rude for me to ask you that, correct?
I'm waiting to hear your point.
Just answer the question. Was it rude when I asked you that?
Yes.
Okay. And it is. Why?
I would never ask you how many women you've slept with.
I will.
Sure.
Like,
but,
what's your point of that?
No,
like,
but
I want to know your your intention.
Did you feel
because
uncomfortable?
everything you do in life, you should have an intention, and if it's not pure, I don't want it.
I'm getting there.
Okay, but your intentions right now are not pure.
Okay.
So what the fuck do you want to know from me? I'm just wondering.
Please don't be rude.
I'm not being rude.
Okay, I'm being very respectful with you.
Asking.
I'm just trying to prove a point here. You felt disrespected and uncomfortable when I asked that question, right?
I mean, kind of, not really.
Okay.
Like, I have.
So, just real quick. So, you saw he asked the question. You saw her facial expression. You also heard her response was like, what the hell, what the fuck you want from me? You know, the behavior that all men and women think in the world that's okay for her to act like, right? Let me ask you a question. Have any of you guys ever been to church? Have you guys ever been to school? Have you guys ever been in a courtroom in front of police? How about at a nice, good career or job in front of your boss? A lot of you guys understand these things I'm asking. When questions are asked about good and bad, rules, policy, regulations, religion, where you should live versus where you should not live, a question is just a question. Either you answer it or you get offended and you don't answer it. Fair enough? Men and women are different. So where I'm going with this? Well, when people ask about men or when people ask about women, what do they ask about men? What does he do? Should I be offended if someone asks me, what do I do? I don't want to tell them I'm a sandwich maker, right? But should I be rude and be like, hey, why the hell you asked me that question? That's rude to ask a man, what does he do? I really sit in my basement and play video games. How dare you ask me that? Would I be rude? Is that rude of you to ask me that question? So a woman cares about a man's future. So a man cares about a woman's past. That's just how we are. So how is the experience with your last, I don't know, 5 or 10 boyfriends? Did you sleep with them all? How many people you been with? I'm curious. Is that rude? You get what I'm trying to say? You know, men and women care about different things. We are not the same. So let's not digress. Let's continue.
I have an answer for you, but
Don't answer it. Don't answer it.
I don't need to.
Don't answer it.
I don't need to.
I simply asked you the question to see how you would respond. You responded negatively, which is natural because it is rude for a man to ask a woman about her past.
I would never ask that about
Let me
you,
finish.
though.
Let me finish.
Stake a pole, life coach.
Peel the layer back. Why is that rude to ask a woman about her past? Because women know deep down their sexual history matters. A woman isn't going to go around and say, I had sex with 100 guys openly. Well, most won't exactly. Why? Because women know the more bodies they got.
Who does it matter to? A man. It matters to a man.
And who?
Okay.
Who's the one that gives out rings?
But does it matter?
Who gives out rings?
You're right. But
exactly.
Okay. So you're saying we need to censor our life.
You don't have to censor anything. I'm saying that if you have a past and a man finds out, it's going to diminish your ability to get a man to take you seriously. It's been that way since the beginning of time.
So find a man that doesn't know about my past is your point.
Fantastic. Sure, if you want. But it doesn't change the fact that men have a very big and his girl's past and how many dudes she has sex with. This is why if I ask a girl, what's your body count? She ain't going to tell me. She's like, what the fuck? Or she's going to lie. Because you know.
We can't gloss over that. Did you guys hear what she said? So what I should do or what I could do is find a man who doesn't care about my past. Or find a man I can hold my secret and not tell him my past. And then she laughed about it. Let me repeat. Do you understand how powerful that is? At least she was bold enough to even act that way and ask that question. I'm not going to say all, but most women feel that way. Why should I tell him? He does not need to know. He does not need to know that truth. I will keep that from him. Ladies, let me ask you a question. Gentlemen, I'll ask a question too who want to disagree, don't like that I have this video up and we're reacting to it. If I dated a woman, I took her out, fine dining, great restaurant, night around the town. She loved the experience. She's like, I don't want to go home yet. So I rent a room at a nice hotel, the WB or whatever. Beautiful weekend. Beautiful Saturday night. Woke up Sunday morning, breakfast, yada, yada, right? She goes home. She meets up with me later in the future and find out I'm not really a doctor or lawyer that I told her I'm about. I'm a sandwich maker. Let me ask you a question, ladies. Let me ask you a question, gentlemen who don't like what I'm saying. Did I rip her off? Did I mislead her? Should I have told her? Should I have kept the information from her? Would that have been okay? She keeps information from me, not telling me. I keep information from her, not telling her. Is that okay? Let's not digress. Let's continue.
What if a girl asks you your body count?
It doesn't matter because
you're never gonna say it.
I'll say it.
We said on air many times.
We said on air many times. It doesn't matter because
What matters right now? What matters right now?
I'm trying to make a point right now.
You're not.
No girl is gonna look at me and be like, I'm not gonna marry him because he had sex with 270 women. They're not gonna do that. They don't care. That's not gonna limit my ability to find a woman.
Well,
but if you go and you say I had sex with 270 men, no one's gonna marry you.
No one's gonna marry you.
It's true. You gotta think of your hole is sacred. Like you can't dig out your hole and think somebody gonna wanna respect you after digging out your hole. Like it's just not gonna happen. Like men just don't, like unconsciously, just like he said, even though we do these deeds in the back of our little minds, you like, damn, was it worth it?
And I feel like no, men.
Hold on,
no,
men
let her finish, bro.
Let her finish.
And I feel like
Merch.
Okay, yeah. All right. So I feel like when that happens with us, we hear that voice in the back of our head when we do certain promiscuous deeds. And I feel like that's why women don't take accountability because they cannot just take that L. They won't take that L because you felt like you gave that person your pussy and you didn't get nothing from it. So it's like you kind of try to fight for it in a sense. But you, in the back of our mind, we know we're not supposed to really just be open with our sexuality like that. It's a sacred thing. Like, I think of it as drilling a hole in the wall. Like, if you keep drilling a hole in the hole is gonna get spoiled.
But why do you think that? Because men are able to put how many notches in their belt and be
just like a drill gun. You could put how many holes in the wall.
Which is my point. How are men able to?
Because we live by
so many
set of rules.
So this is some bigotry.
Well, honestly speaking,
bigotry.
Think about it, right? She's just saying men and women are different. Men have the insertion, women have the hole.
Right.
She's saying the drill is the men.
But why are women looked at as sluts for
That's how the world works.
That's how it is.
So you're just saying those are the rules, and we're saying that like we can't change it, or we can make normalities out of the society today in 2022. Is that what you're telling me? I'm asking.
Listen, if you change it, you see what's going on in the world right now.
Let me ask you this question. That's a fair question. She's saying that's not fair, right? Let me ask you a question. So we should not hold that type of standard on a woman, you think? And there's a reason for that standard. Let me ask you a question, ladies. So no one should hold a man under the standard. Well, if he doesn't have a job or doesn't work a certain career, make a certain kind of money, he shouldn't be scrutinized for it. That's not fair, right? Even if we say, no, we wouldn't do that, your actions would tell me that you scrutinize or you judge on a man being lazy or not performing at the highest level through you dating him and having sex with him. A person's actions will definitely validate if something is right, that they like it, or they don't. If people like something, they buy. If some people don't like what it is, they don't buy. You want to see the populace and how things go? Follow the money. You want to know someone if they're being truthful with you? Watch their actions. Women don't have to tell you, I'm not judging you, but watch who she dates and watch who she sleep with, and she will tell you through her actions as loud as the thunder cracking the ground. That's what she believes in. That's how she's judging through her actions. Just like your job. If they like your actions, they will pay you. If they don't like it, they won't pay you. They'll fire you. Let's continue.
Now the scales are tipping.
Absolutely.
Everything is out of balance due to the fact of certain things like that. You think we could do the same thing as men, but in reality, we cannot.
Yes, we can.
No, we cannot. That's a false reality.
And
a lot of people are not happy nowadays.
Nobody's happy.
That's what I'm saying, because
Selena's a multi-millionaire. She just told y'all I did not get satisfaction from being rich.
She doesn't.
Okay, and that's my whole point. Is that
But that's what I'm saying. The scales are tipping because you think you could do the same thing as a man. You think you don't need a nigga for shit. Y'all think y'all could do all these things that men care about, money and all these things. Y'all want to be the provider. Y'all want to be this. Y'all want to be that.
Because I'm not
talking. I'm talking about the general public. I'm not even talking about you. But I'm just letting you know, like, we're not superwoman. Y'all think y'all superwoman when you want to do these things, but really and truly, we do get tired.
Yeah,
like we want to have a Superman. We don't want to be superwoman.
But who want to be that Superman? I feel like ain't no man is trying to fucking step up. But they all stepping down and letting these women step up and letting them kick fucking ass.
Don't get me wrong.
Like,
let me answer that. Here's the thing. Why should I be your Superman when you haven't made yourself worthy of being with a Superman?
How haven't I made myself worthy?
I need you to get out your feelings.
I'm not in my feelings.
Yeah, no, you are.
No,
because everything I'm saying, stop. Everything that I'm saying does not pertain to you. It talks about generalities.
Sure.
You're taking everything I'm saying and putting it back on you. It's in general. This is for all women, not just you at the table. You can make your argument, but you keep saying, but I'm not like that and all this other stuff. That's fine. You can feel that way.
Fair.
Yeah, go ahead. But this isn't talking about you. I'm simply saying a man doesn't have to accept you. A Superman who's rare, one of a kind, Clark Kent, does not have to accept a woman unless she meets his requirements. Just like you don't have to accept a man if he doesn't have a future.
Agreed.
But can I say something?
Go ahead, sure.
You know, okay, you're saying like a man doesn't have to accept you. And yeah, he doesn't. Just like a woman doesn't have to accept the guy with whatever he has or whatever flaws or whatever. But that's why the point is that we go thinking that every man is supposed to accept us. No, not everyone is supposed to accept us. It's that person, that one person that we will find that will accept us. There will be that one person. Or maybe two. You're laughing, but you know,
she's right. She's right.
There will be that one person. The thing is that as women, we think, you know, every guy is supposed to love me. Every guy's not gonna accept me. No, every guy, no.
You know,
but eventually, I will find someone that's gonna accept me with everything that I have. And like I said, I get it. You know, like it for a man, it's hard to accept a woman with whatever situation, but men also have their past. So it's like, if you find that person, you compromise, like I said, you know, you're going to talk about the situation. You're going to eventually figure it out. If that person is that person for you.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
You're operating kind of like in a dream world. I'm just simply saying when you do certain things, it limits the probability of being able to get a certain guy. You're operating on possibility. I'm telling you probabilities. There's a difference. Yes, is it possible to find your dream man that will accept you after you have 199 bodies and you've done a bunch of slut shit on OnlyFans and everyone knows who you are? But yes, it is. However, is it probable? No. Because I know 95% of men are going to have a serious issue with you coming in with a past. Just like you, if I switch the tables around, let's say I make a certain amount of money, but I live with my mom, I smoke pot, I'm not really ambitious, but I think I can do it, but I don't really want to change. 95% of women are going to say, I'm not dating that fucking guy. He has no future. No one bats an eye when a woman says, I want a man with ambition. But if a man says, I don't want a woman with a past, whoa, you should accept this regardless.
Instant and interesting reactions. It was crazy. Look, a lot of things were asked, things were talked about. Of course, people got triggered, right? These things are hard to talk about, okay? There was once upon a time, people lived by a code of conduct, a way of living. A lot of people went to church, you know, stuff like that. Family values grew. Honestly, what I believe, me personally, I think men dropped the ball. When men stopped looking to the higher power to live by a particular code, set the example as leaders, women just follow suit. Remember, women are the givers of culture, but men had to set the example so set culture can be established. Yes, I'm not taking accountability for women. I will not do that. But what I will say is, we got to hold them accountable, but before they can change, we got to show through our actions that we can change, men. Then from there, you can weed out the real from the fake. But hey, look, any questions? If you have comments, leave them down. Thank you for joining me on this reaction. And I'm going to leave the link down below if you want to watch the whole video, if you've never seen it, or you just want to catch back up and say, yo, I think I remember that. Let me go check it out. But the link will be down below. Until next time. Peace. If you made it this far, smash the like button and leave a comment down below to trigger the YouTube algorithm. I'm a new channel and I'm trying to grow. So hit the subscribe button and hit the bell to let you know every time I upload a new video.
You get on down, close my eyes, take me for a ride. Ooh.